Let's talk about prison privatization for a moment. This is kind of blown up. It's been something that has been on the agenda last session, this session. The governor has pushed it. I know you are in favor of it. There are other Senate leaders who are in favor of it, some people in the House, as a cost-cutting measure and something to promote efficiency. But there's been resistance building up from senators whose districts house some of those prisons, from some law enforcement people and the unions, correctional officers. Do you think that in the end there will be some legislation addressing this? Because there's one of the things that you don't see out front a lot of times there's some big interest on both sides of this politically in terms of contributions. You've got some money that has come in through the private prison corporations who would like to get some business out of this. You've got some union money coming in through the unions that represent the workers. And both sides are about even. So there's politics, there's policy, it's a mix. Give us your inside view of it.
Well, that's why the press loves it. They're talking about these kind of issues. But let me tell you why I'm so passionate about it. We have a $1.5 billion budget shortfall, and we need to look for every opportunity to save money, period. We know that if we go towards the prison contracts, they will receive at least a 7% savings, not just 1 year, but year in and year out. And that's to the tune in the first year about $20 million, maybe as high as $40 million. And what is that? That's 400 teachers we can hire. Because if you ask me a very basic question, where do I want to spend the money? I want to spend money in schools. I want to spend money on environmental programs, not on a prison. And there's no public safety issue here at all. There's no record in the past of private prisons having breakouts. This is about saving money. And we need to make these tough decisions, because if we don't make the cuts here, they're going to come out of our schools. They're going to come out of our environmental programs, out of our health care programs. This is a no-brainer for me. I understand the disappointment of some people who might lose their job. But let's recall, we fought crime now for over a decade, brought it to its lowest level in over 30 years. And we should get the dividend from that savings, from that investment. Now there are 12,000 prison beds not being used. We better save the money. Because again, to show a contrast, would you hire a teacher with no kids in the classroom? Why would we go out and do the same thing and hire a prison worker for no prisoners? This is about common sense and saving money. And if we can't make the cuts here, we're going to do it at the wrong places, which means education and healthcare.
Return to my question. Do you think something in the end will pass?
I think it will. I can't guarantee it, but there will be a vote. And people are going to look at that board and say, are you willing to stand up and take on waste? Are you willing to stand up and save money? Because if someone came to you in a business and said, we'll do the exact same service for 7% less, every single business and individual would take that on. We're going to go on the board, and people are going to know where people stood when we could save money to this degree.